Hello, welcome to Story Time. Today's story takes place a long time ago, 1991, in a far-off magical land, Australia, where there were 3 rock bands. There was a pop band, a retro band, and an Elvis band. And eventually they all broke up. The drummer from the pop band decided he wanted a real job, so he started taking classes at the university. The lead singer from the Elvis band decided he wanted a real job. He started taking classes too. And so did the lead guitarist from the retro band. And these guys met each other for the first time in the college classroom. They were at the same school, and they had the same major, early childhood education. These rockers were planning to become kindergarten teachers. And in one of their classes they were given a task to divide into groups and to make something educational or entertaining for little kids. And they said to each other, "We know all about music, why don't we put out an album of songs for little kids?" So they recruited the keyboard player from the drummer's old band and they put out an album. And it started to sell. And the fellow who recorded the album for them said, "You need to go on tour." And they said, "Go on tour? Behind a homework assignment?" He said, "It's an album, it's selling, go on tour." So they toured around Australia, and that went pretty well. So then they did more albums and more tours. And then videos, and then a TV show which got picked up by the Disney Channel and ran there for 10 years. They call themselves the Wiggles. Since those days, 3 members of the band have retired and been replaced by other people. And they're doing quite well also. The original 4 guys were pulling down $4 million a year, doing what they loved. Now, maybe you will or won't earn $4 million a year. But how much thought have you given to doing what you love once you graduate school? People are in school to get an education, to get a paycheck, but also to get happy. Some people don't think about that part. I was talking to a room full of students. I said to them, "What do you want to do after you graduate?" A girl raised her hand and said, "I want to either work with people or animals." I said, "Okay, so you've narrowed it down to all living creatures. Now what?" A guy raised his hand and said, "My profession is going to be biology." I said, "Great." Again, all living creatures. There's more than 100 separate professions inside of biology. Which one are you going to do? Another guy raised his hand and said, "My field is going to be business." I said, "Wonderful. Business applies to every human activity. Business applies to government, industry, finance, sports, art, music, religion, love. You ever get married and have a kid, you find out how expensive love is. Typical wedding, $10,000. Raising a child to the age of 18, $250,000. So out of all the things you can do or could do at the end of your college career, what's going to make you happy? Suppose you were to win the lottery, never have to work again, never have to go to school again. How would you pass the time? Would you be indoors, outdoors, doing sports, doing music, doing video games, doing something else? It's almost like asking, what are you going to do this weekend? If you have some free time between homework and other work, what do you do for fun? Whatever you do for fun right now constitutes part of somebody's job description. There's people out there getting paid to do what you do for free. If you can identify the careers that contain the activities that you do for fun, you can get paid to have fun. And that's huge. That's crucial. Your job should not feel like work. If your job feels like work, you're in the wrong job. I mean, look at me. Do I look like I'm working? I get paid to talk to people. I get paid to talk to students in person. I get paid to talk to a video camera. I get paid to talk to people. Then I get paid to sit down and listen to other people talk. I even get paid to be judgmental about it. "Your speech was wonderful. Oh my God, you suck." That's my job. I get paid for that. There's nothing about my job that feels like work. Your job should not feel like work. So, the topic of your next speech is going to be your career, what you plan to do after you graduate. And we want to make sure you're on the right track. Hopefully you are, but we want to see for sure. So we're going to go through an assessment. I want you to log on to eSanta scroll down and click on Advisement, then click on Career Planning. A website will open up called My Plan. You'll need an access code to get into My Plan. The access code can be found in the ebook. And you're going to log in and go through some assessments. They'll look at your interests, your skills, your values, and your personality. It's going to recommend career pathways based upon your answers. And if those answers already line up with what you plan to do, great. If not, they might suggest some things that you might explore in the future. So you're going to go through that assessment. You don't have to print anything out unless you want to for your own records. But I want you to know what the results are, and I want you to know whether or not they line up with what you plan to do. If so, great. If not, future possibilities to explore. In the meantime, you're going to have to do some research for this speech and for all the rest of the speeches we do in this course. Research above and beyond the MyPlan assessment. You're going to have to do some research on the career that you plan to get into. You're going to have to look stuff up, and you're going to have to cite it. Now, unlike a paper that you would write and hand in, where the citations would appear at the end of the paper, when you deliver a speech, the citations appear inside the speech. In fact, you first state the citation, and then you state the information. According to this website, here's what's going on. According to this author, here's something we should be aware of. According to this professional organization, here's what I would like for you to know. So you state the source, then you state the information. That's the way it works inside of a speech. And we're going to incorporate it into the format that we used for the previous speech for your demonstration.